Welcome back to another Blacktastic episode of the People Before Politics show, Sunday Rundown, powered by Black Westchester Magazine. I'm your host, Damon K. Jones, joined by my brother, A.J. Woodson, and bringing that fresh perspective, Larnaz Kinsey. Every Sunday, we pull back the curtain on the issues shaping our families, our cities, and our future, from health and safety to policy and power. It's because our mission is simple. Put the people first, not the politics. It's going to be Blacktastic. Are you ready to put your brand in front of the people who matter? Black Westchester Magazine is your platform. With over 90,000 monthly website readers and more than 250,000 YouTube viewers every month, we give your business unmatched exposure. From email blasts straight to our subscribers, to video commercials, website promotions, and targeted campaigns, we've got the tools to help you connect, engage, and grow. Whether you're a local business, a national brand, a rising entrepreneur, or just promoting an upcoming event, Black Westchester is where culture, community, and commerce meet. Contact us today or scan the QR code and start building with us. Don't just advertise, be part of the movement, be part of Black Westchester, be Blacktastic. Black got a sweet tooth? Come to Cupcake Cutie Boutique in Mount Vernon, where every day is a reason to celebrate. Fresh homemade cupcakes baked with love. Stop by 8 South 6th Avenue and taste the cuteness today. Rep the movement. Get your official Black Westchester merch today. Hoodies, tees, and more at blackwestchestermerch.shop. Wear your voice, make a statement. Damon K. Jones exposes the lies and challenges the gatekeepers in Black politics in his powerful book, Emotional Politics and Logical Failure. Black America needs fewer emotions and more outcomes. Our communities deserve better. On sale now, get the book or audiobook on Amazon, From the Streets of Westchester to the Heart of Hip Hop. Discover A.J. Woodson's powerful collection. Black Westchester, the origin story. We got our own thing. Hip hop from the 9, 1, 4, and Black Westchester celebrate Black Women of Westchester. Available now at blackwestchester.com and on Amazon. Gangbangers breaks down how the two-party system operates like a legalized street war for power. Emotional Politics, Logical Failure exposes how emotion has replaced strategy in Black political engagement. Tolerance is for Cowards lays out a blueprint for extended policing and community-led public safety rooted in outcomes rather than slogans. 3 signed books. One bundle $60. That's a $75 value. And you're getting signed copies included. This isn't left versus right. It's results versus rhetoric. Go to twosteppublishing.com and secure your signed political thought bundle today. It's going to be Blacktastic. Its own economy, under segregation, under discrimination, and under conditions most people today cannot imagine. We built businesses. We built banks. We bought land and property. In the Forgotten Blueprint, Damon K. Jones reveals how Black communities created thriving economic systems from 1800 to 1965 and why that blueprint still matters today. This book challenges the idea that our future depends on politics alone and shows how ownership, family, and enterprise once powered Black prosperity. The blueprint is not lost. We just stopped using it. The Forgotten Blueprint, how Black America built its own economy from 1800 to 1965. On sale now at Two-Step Publishing and Amazon. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and share it with others who need to hear the truth. And for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes access, join the Black Westchester Magazine YouTube membership club today. Your support helps us keep independent Black media strong. Support independent Black media with style. Rock Black Westchester merch and represent the news with the Black point of view. Every purchase helps us speak truth to power. Thank you to everyone who supported us through Super Chat. Your contributions keep independent media alive and thriving. We couldn't do it without you. For over a decade, Black Westchester Magazine has been giving our community a voice, reporting the stories others ignore, holding power accountable, and making sure the truth about our communities is told by us. But independent Black media only survives when the community supports it. If you believe in real journalism, community accountability, and keeping Black voices strong in local news, we need your help. Your donation helps us continue covering the stories that matter. politics, education, justice, and economic empowerment right here in Westchester. Support Black media, support Black truth, support Black Westchester Magazine. Donate today and help keep Black media alive. Because Black-owned independent media is...
Yay!
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are tuned in to Black Westchester Presents, the People Before Politics radio show with Damon K. Jones, myself, AJ Woodson, and the lovely Larnez Kinsey.
Hey, Black Westchester.
So let me start out. Happy International Women's Day. It is Women's History Month. As you may have noticed, if you go to Black Westchester, first off, a couple of years ago, I wrote a book, Black Westchester Celebrates Black Women of Westchester. Every day I'm dropping 2-3 joints on Black women, Black trailblazing women from Westchester every day for the whole month. Make sure you check it. I'm not just doing the normal, Andrew Stewart cousins, the ones we all know. There's a lot of people that you may not know of, and hopefully you learn who they are. So make sure you check every day. There will be new joints dropping about trailblazing sisters in Westchester. So happy International Women's Month and International Women's Day, and happy Women's History Month. And before we go on, we got our first guest is already here since we started out late. Let's jump into that, Damon.
No. I need to get something out of the way first. Before we jump into our guests, I need to get something out of the way.
Can't wait till afterwards.
All right, we're gonna do it after the guests. We're gonna get the guests.
I'm not sure where that's going, so let's set the mood.
But before she come in, I got a little dedication for all.
Okay, now that's good. Let's do that.
For all the Black women out here, y'all. If y'all been following me, man, y'all know I've been having fun with AI. I've been having fun making my own rap songs and shit, having a great time. But there's one song I made I dedicated to Black women.
All right.
And I want to just play a little bit, and I just want to see if y'all get it, right? There's some more metaphors in there. I just want to see if y'all get it. I'm just gonna play a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on. Here we go, y'all.
Never dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. See, that's when temptation come dressed in diamonds. But I'd rather invest in royalty. Black queens, my preference, my presence, my protection. Let's talk about it. Never dance with the devil in the pale moonlight, because the price of admission is your soul on ice. They lure you with the glitter, champagne on the rocks, but the bill come due with them eternal locks. I've seen brothers gamble hearts just to chase that thrill, only to wake up empty with a void to fill. Me, I'd rather walk steady with the queen by my side. Her love ain't counterfeit, it's the truth amplified. Black woman, you, the rose in the cracks of the street, turn concrete jungles into soil so sweet. When the world play games, you remind me of the cost. You the compass, the wisdom, the bridge never lost. I ain't blinded by illusions now. I study the art of a woman who been molding kingdoms right from the start. You the cradle of creation, you the rhythm, the song. While the devil plays short, you've been built for the long. Moonlight shadows trying to pull me off track, but I don't fall for the tricks. I ain't dancing with that. Every bar that I spit, yeah, I'm speaking it right. I prefer Black women. They my love, they my light. Black woman, you the jewel that the world try to hide. Every system built against you, but you still multiply. You the sun in the morning, you the moon in the night. You the fire in the struggle, you the truth in the fight. When they call you too strong, I just call you divine. Every scar that you carry, tell a story in time. You the rhythm of the Nile, you the roots of the tree. You the mother, the daughter, every prayer set free. Devil whisper in the dark, come and chase my glow. But your melanin royalty outshine that show. You the poetry in motion, you the song in my chest. You the reason I resist every counterfeit test. No diamond, no pearl could replace what you bring. You the crown on the king, you the strength in the ring. And I ain't dancing with shadows when the stakes that high. I'll be holding to your hand till the day I die. Moonlight shadows trying to pull me off track, but I don't fall for the tricks. I ain't dancing with that.
I'll play the full one at the end.
All right.
I play the full song at the end because I know we got a guest coming. I just wanted.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you do it.
The devil. I'm not dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight.
That's how you start off the show. That's how you start off the show.
And if y'all think y'all know what I'm talking about.
So as I was saying, so every day I'm dropping jewels on different trailblazing Black women in Westchester. We celebrated Pearl Calls, and several.
Oh, I'm sorry. What happened?
I don't know what you're doing. What you doing? What you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So
I gotta bring y'all in on that one.
today we are celebrating the first woman, an African American chief medical officer and medical director of Children's Village, Dr. Traci Gardner, my friend, my cousin, and I've known her. I've known her since my cousin was dating her. We went to her birthday party down at Mount Holyoke or wherever that was back in the 80s.
Yeah, he's telling our age now. He's starting to tell
hey.
Oh, yeah.
I told everybody I just turned 60, so I'm proud of my age.
It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing.
So we did one. We're doing one or two a day, and I started off with you. One of the ones I started off, and Damon was like, "Yo, call her, tell her to come on the show." So we want to celebrate you.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
International Women's Day, Women's History Month. We celebrating, and I'm gonna celebrate everybody else. I gotta celebrate my family first. You know what I mean?
Yes. Love that. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me. I appreciate you putting me in the book. It means a lot to me, especially in light of the women that are in the book. I really am humbled. I am honored, and hope that I continue to do the work that is deserving of me being in that book. I appreciate you.
No doubt. And one of the things I really tried to do with the book, and also with the profiles this month, you know, we all know the same big names that you see over and over every month. I wanted to trickle in a whole bunch that you don't know. Like today, we celebrated the first city councilwoman in Pound Ridge. Nobody knows who she is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I want you to hopefully learn something this month. Be like, oh man, and for us, our young girls to see, there's a lot of sisters doing the damn thing throughout the county, even if you don't know who they are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And also when I have a question, when I have a story that got to do with health or whatever, this is my medical expert that I always call for a quote.
Yes, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, yeah, that you're so right. I mean, I went to Andrea Stewart Cousins' Black History Month event last week, and it was funny because there were so many women on that panel, like every woman on that panel. Actually, even Ken was on the panel. Ken Jenkins was on the panel, and everybody was a first.
Right.
Every single person was the first to hold the position by which they were on the panel for. Right. And although I'm grateful, growing up, I never thought that there would still be the first left to do.
And there's still some,
right?
Yeah.
And there's still more. And so, for me, it wasn't just, a person of color. Like, I am the first African-American, but there was no other person of color even before me. Like,
first woman too, right?
I'm the first woman and the first person of color. So they were white men, before that. And so, you are still continuing to break. What I'm seeing, even for myself and for others, is that we continue to still break barriers of gender and, race and ethnicity and all of those things as well. So, it speaks to, how far we've come but how far we still have to go.
And y'all are causing, you don't know, y'all causing a lot of commotion. This country was run by a bunch of white men, and now it's all these different women and all these first this and first that, and they feel like they losing power, and they trying to hold on to power any way by necessary. So they trying to shut y'all down. Yeah,
that's so true.
Y'all causing commotion. Y'all breaking up. Y'all breaking up the status quo. They not happy about that.
No, for real. And that is real. I mean, Children's Village, let me say, Children's Village is celebrating 175 years.
Wow.
This year. And yeah. And so, in a community that serves primarily, children of color, and primarily African Americans make up a lion's share of those children who find themselves in foster care. So, for me, when children see me and see me as somebody who looks like them, I think that's an important. And I had a kid yesterday. I'll tell you a funny story. Kid last week, I said you could sit here. You could do something. I can't remember what I was telling him you could do, and he was like, you can't. I don't think you can do that because you're not the boss. And I was like, but I am the boss. And so, right. And he was like, I don't think so. And I was like, no, but I am. And so I said, hold on. So you want me to get somebody? And he was like, yeah, I'm going to need you to get somebody. He was like 8.
Really?
Really? So I went and got 2 nurses and I said, he has some questions to ask you. And he said, is she the boss? And they were like, yeah, she's the boss. And he was like, yes, she can. He's like, yes, she tells us what to do. She runs this whole place. And so, and he was like, wow. But like, how pivotal, how important is that?
That's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? Because in his mind, a Black woman could not be the boss.
Exactly.
In 2020.
Well, I want to say this is my first time meeting you, Dr. Gardner, and any family member of AJ is a family member of mine. And please continue to do this thing, be the first, because Black excellence deserves more airtime than it's getting. I'm tired of struggle narratives constantly surrounding our communities. And it's super important that we shift perspectives, right? And you being in this space with a real lived experience perspective, I feel like they knew exactly what they were doing when they put you there. Yeah. They knew exactly what they were doing. Just like you said, what was that, 100 years?
175.
175. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, see, there you go.
That's my alarm. If I ain't here, I'm supposed to be. But 175 years with people making decisions for us.
Late. I was going to say, if you're 30 minutes late, that tells you you're 30 minutes late, not that you're not here.
Right, that's what I said. If this is going on to say, hey, girl, you're supposed to be on 30 minutes ago. I'm just letting you know.
That's hilarious.
But what I'm saying is 175 years, they didn't have this perspective, right? This closely in tuned perspective to help our kids, right? To help our kids through trauma, to help our kids with resolutions and giving them the tools that they need to combat the world. So I am grateful for you being in this position. I'm grateful for you being here, and I'm grateful to know you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It is a pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah. So let me give you some background. So they hired me in 2019. And it's funny because even in 2019, initially everybody was all excited, but then, just like Obama and everybody else, like it wears off really quickly. Not so much with Children's Village, but like outside, like stakeholders and stuff like that. You start to get a little bit of rumbling. But in 2020, so 1 year after I get the position, we're in COVID. Right. And so and so now I have to like save the world at the same time, a new job. Like, do you know what I mean? And so right. And it was very it was very scary because now you have vulnerable populations in a setting where people aren't even thinking about them. Like in 2020, nobody was thinking. You think about in 2020, think about the time of COVID when you were sitting in front of your television. Think about how many times, if any, you heard anything on the television about foster care system. You can't recall ever watching nursing homes, schools, lots of stuff. But when did you hear on television anybody speak to child welfare or foster care youth during COVID?
Not at all.
Only when them babies passed away from the drugs that was in the daycare floor.
Right. That's it. Right. Mm-hmm. So, right. And so nobody was thinking about this. And I remember like calling our CEO at Jeremy Cahoban. I remember calling him and I said to Jeremy, listen, we're going to have to create a system for foster care. I said, nobody has a system. I was like, I called the Department of Health, I called the Westchester Department of Health, I called the State Department of Health, and I was like, they were like, yeah, we don't have a policy or procedure for COVID for foster care. And I said, we're going to have to create one, which we did. And I will say this, and it's a mixed bag, but I'm speaking my truth. At the time, Cuomo gave us 3 epidemiologists to work with to help us create that. And so that was happening behind the scenes. So even in light of everything that was happening, they were also helping me to create a policy for foster care youth. So for that, I am grateful, because we were able to not only save lives, but we were also able to test. Back when people were trying to test like Hunger Games, by March, we were able to test kids. We were able to, by the time the vaccine came out, we were able to give that not only to the children, but to the staff and to parent advocates and foster parents. So we set up a whole system and then we shared that across the country. So I spoke to people in Oregon, I spoke to people in Virginia, I spoke to people all over this country and shared that policy with them. And so that no one else would have to like try to reinvent the wheel.
That's what's up. Yo, shout out to brother Dennis. Greetings from Ghana. You just never know who's watching. So shout out to my brother who's watching in Ghana.
Yes. Listen, Dennis from Ghana. I just came back from Ghana in January. So you right on time.
That's
yes.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that was life-changing experience. Listen.
Now, I want to talk about something that Larnez was talking about. I want to piggyback off of that. How important is having a person of color in the position that you in? Because some others don't understand our children. They want to just put their ADHD or they whatever, they give them a bunch of drugs. But, understanding our community, understanding our children, how important is it to have that in the space that you're in?
Yeah, I think, I know the thing that I think that is helpful is that, first of all, I understand that we are multifaceted. We have variability within our not just our melanin, but in our culture and our history. And I understand that. So, every kid that walks into the room has a story, has a different story. And so we are truly a diaspora of people. So whenever I work with the youth, it's like one-on-one. And though I'm a chief medical officer, I still actually make a point to see some kids because I still want to be connected. And so I think it's important because I don't know everybody has that lens. I don't know if they really understand that just because you see, 3 Black people, it doesn't mean that you're looking at 3 Black people. I mean, they're Black people by the social construct of race in America, but they come with a vast story that may have them coming from Ghana or Barbados or Brazil or whatever. So I think, and that comes with, a different culture and understanding. So I think when you have someone who understands that, I think you can give better medicine. I teach at the medical school. And I always tell them, like, if you don't understand, like, the community that you're working with, then you're always practicing medicine with one hand behind your back.
So, any questions, Damon? I know you always got something.
Nah, man. I'm just so proud of her doing her thing because we need Black faces in places to cover our children. Our children is our future. And because of our how do you put it, societal ills, right? Our children end up in facilities, and we usually, and doing 33 years in correction, it's really hard to see people that look like us in charge of those type of facilities. Last time we had a Black commissioner in the Department of Corrections was in the 90s. And he was appointed by a Republican, and we ain't seen one since. So the thing is that we need to be in those places, So hats off and an honor to you for today for being in those places and allowing young Black children to see a Black face in that place that is making decisions to better them. And it reminds me of an incident. Me and my wife went out to Yonkers. They had a forum, and young Black girls ain't never seen a Black female cop. They were amazed that they were a Black woman cop.
That's right.
So we still have a lot of work to do. And we just got to be in those places. We got to represent correctly, and we have to try to change the lives of our children for the future. And I thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much. And I want to add to what you're saying about, be clear that the child welfare system is if it is a prison pipeline by its systemic structure. Right. And so kids get in trouble. They end up on the juvenile justice side, and then they turn 18. And now they're doing stuff they did when they were 17, but now now it's an adult. So it is, but a lot of it stems from all the social determinants of health and poverty, lack of education, all of the things that, I often say to my team, children should never have to parent themselves. Like, if you're 16, you still got teen at the end of it, right? And so you're still a kid, and so And so I think that we are, whatever happens with our kids, and we have to culturally not adultify our kids, right? And so we need to understand, especially in a child who's been through some things, if a child is with us, at the bare minimum, they have been, especially on our residential, we do foster care work as well, where they're with foster families, or we work with families within families. But if you're talking about those who are actually have been taken away from their parents periodically, and they're with us, or they're with the foster families, they've been taken away from their parents. And that is a kid's worst nightmare. Okay. And so that's one instance. Some kids I have seen, their parents died. So they've done nothing wrong, like nothing. They've done nothing wrong. Like, you know what I mean? And so, and yet they're in the same circumstances. So that's why it's so important not to act as if they're a monolith, because each one of them has a different story and that led them to this place. And we have to tease out what is needed. And by the way, all of that in my mind falls under health, because their health and well-being is what's going to help them to to get them to a productive adult. So it's the health pieces, whether you're talking about mental health, physical health, trauma, all of the things that have happened. If you're a small child and you've had lack of, for whatever reason, your mom, maybe your mom went through something, your parents went through something. So your attenuation, your connection with them has been not as healthy as it could have been when you were a small child. That has an impact on you, who you become. And so there's all of these very nuanced things that affect your health and your well-being. And we need to, and that's our role to figure that out for them.
Absolutely. Also want to give a shout out. I have another cousin in the house. Warren Kent works with you.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you got all the cousins. AJ got all the cousins.
No, I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna get a text message. Why you ain't give me a shout out? So I'm just giving my cousin.
Yeah, you got all the cousins. Okay. Yes, another person doing amazing work. Warren is a rock star in this field.
He actually we did a show on foster care and the whole system, and he gave me a couple of brothers that he recommended for the show, and we did a whole show on that, and he put that together. So yeah,
he does a lot of community-based work, and some real tough challenges. Like he does the things over him, which kind of overlap with me, but girls being sex trafficked, and this is hard work. This is not an easy lift.
Right.
You know what it's not, you know what I mean? These are people who have young children and teenagers and adolescents, but they're have all been through some things. And
you were able, actually, we have a friend of mine has a niece who went through the system, and we're not gonna go through that whole story, but she was trying to get in touch with her, and I was calling you to find out some information. He was like, "Oh, she's right here. I just seen her yesterday. She was in there, and you were able to help connect them a little bit." That little girl had been through a lot, and so I know. I seen it firsthand what they go through, getting stripped from their families, and the whole process is definitely, has that effect on them. And I don't know where she is now. She's in Pennsylvania somewhere now.
Oh, wow. And also, too, I don't think people talk enough about, and I don't know, is that the intersectionality of the other systems, right? So we often talk about like sort of the criminal system and the court system, and that definitely plays a role in the and the police are often heavily involved because they find themselves truant or what have you. But the education system, the educational gaps in child welfare are staggering. Yeah, I mean, they are staggering. And we don't talk about those who may have disabilities. Do you know what I mean? Right. And so like there's a lot of like intersectionality when it comes to this particular system, besides the health and mental health. And all they literally are touched by every housing is an issue. There's just it's you're really trying to work at like with every system.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to share about Children's Village, about the experience of being the first in that space? Anything that I didn't ask you before you go? And I don't know if Damon and Lonels have any more questions.
I have one more question.
Shoot, yeah.
So I know you said they hired you in 2019, right? So prior to this, was this still your focus? Were you still trying to infiltrate this system with the amount of impact you have now?
Yeah, so I owned a practice prior to joining at Children's Village. So I started sort of working at Children's Village in 2008, actually, with young ladies in foster care. So funny, somebody says single mothers. They were single mothers in foster care, but they were still adolescents. So they were under 21 and they had one child. So I was doing parent education for them. So that was my first introduction into child welfare. That was in 2018. And so when I got there, I started doing that work. And then I also started doing some work with unaccompanied minors as well. Children who come across the border alone. So that's a whole another system. And so I started doing that work as well. And then so the combination of all of that, and then seeing some kids in the child welfare system, and then in 2019. So I had been there for some time, for about 11 years before. So I was already sort of doing the work. But in that time frame, it's funny you saying that, because in that time frame, I started doing other things. So for example, I started seeing some of the issues in the other spaces. So I started doing some work with the New York State justice system, and I was placed on the advisory council for the attorneys for children. And so they have an advisory council for that. And I'm pretty sure that was shout out to Judge Kathy Davidson, who said, like, we need to have an expert. We need to have a pediatrician on this. Like, we're talking about families and we don't got an expert. And I had to go through some process for that. I believe I might have been the first doctor, may have been on that. Because I don't know that they had a pediatrician before that. I also then I became the medical director for the Valhalla School District. I was the first woman and person of color for that as well. And then, so I was already sort of in the trajectory of looking at these sort of big systems and how they're impacting children. So now I'm the medical director for the school district that's associated with Children's Village, which is a special education school district. And then then I decided, I need to make sure that we educate doctors, right, while they're still medical students and while they still care about the work and why before they become jaded. So I had already started teaching before that. So in 2000 and I don't know, 16 or somewhere, I can't remember exactly. They created a job for me. So I was the first to have a job, which was director of community engagement for New York Medical College. And then they created another job. So I was the first to hold both of these jobs. They didn't exist before me, which was the director of health equity, director of anti-racism and anti-bias. However, in February of 2025, they had to dissolve that position. And that's why I became again the director of community engagement. So to your question, it was like, I think that like I always knew, even when I was in private practice, that I had a real commitment to social impact, even in private practice. So I felt like this was eventually I was going to be here just by the trajectory of where I was finding myself in all of these spaces, where I was trying to really advocate for children. I mean, I felt like somebody asked me if my life was a movie, what would it be called? And I said my life in advocacy. Yeah. So I feel like that's what I do. And I just happen to be a doctor.
Well, I definitely want to thank you for allowing us to celebrate you. Shout out to your husband, Joffrey, and also shout out to your talented daughter who goes out and does interviews for us. Jalen, she interviewed Ken Jenkins, I guess, when he first got the job or whatever. She did the little video interview with him and sent it in. So shout out to her. And keep doing what you're doing. Actually, I've known you all this time. I just about you that I didn't know. So I was just like, oh, damn, I didn't know that. So yeah.
Yeah, just be grinding and just trying to do the work.
Wait. And Damon, she was a DJ back in the days too.
I was. Yeah. So I was listen. You know what I wasn't, Damon? A rapper. So listen. You know what I can appreciate? The fact. Listen, I loved your video because I was terrible at rapping. Like everybody, back in the day, everybody tried to handle at rapping. Like it was the thing. Like you had to try, and I realized that I did not have that skill. And so at 16, I became a DJ, and I did that for a little bit in college, and got an FCC license, was a chief engineer at a radio station, and
nice.
And then got a job offer. But I wanted to be a doctor, so I went and took a job as a research assistant. I don't know, like I know there's like DJs out here like making $1 million. I don't know. So
you never know. You never know.
But you where you supposed to be though.
I am where I'm supposed to be. Like I have no regrets. I have no regrets. But I feel like how many people I met. I know I'm gonna let y'all go, but you know how many people I met of our generation that DJ'd is crazy. I think everybody's trying to do it. They was either trying to rap or trying to DJ. Like this, it's insane.
Damon used to be a rapper. Damon used to rap.
And I had DJ equipment. I think everybody. If you grew up from 1978 to 86.
Yep.
You had some type of DJ equipment in your house.
Yep.
That's true.
Right? You that's when Crazy Eddie's was open. Everybody
everybody went to Crazy Eddie's.
Yes.
Listen, I used to walk to Crazy Eddie's every week and give my little money for my equipment, and I could see it up on the rack with my little tag with my name on it, the turntables, whatever I was buying. I come in there every week, get my stuff, take it home, and then you sharing your records with your friends and everybody sharing records, and then doubles get missing because people don't want to return both of them. And it was a mess, but you made it work.
I was fortunate because when I realized that the college I was at had a radio station, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get on there, right? So I got on the radio station, And then I used the radio station's records, right, to do my DJ.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's dope.
to do my
Yeah,
DJ gigs. And I gotta tell you, I think about it now. You know, I used to get paid like back in the 80s, which is crazy to me now, like 250, 300.
Mm-hmm.
In the 80s, I was like, yeah, that was like good money back then. I was like, yeah, it was.
Money.
It was a good thing. I met Cut Creator on a cruise not that long ago. I was in October, and I was like, you know, I was like, oh, my little hip hop heart is full now, because I, you know, as you start to meet people, you know, that you sort of
right.
You know, I think LL and I are like the same age or close to the same age, and so. You know, when you start to meet, you know, people who you emulated or tried to, I've met Red Alert and some others now since then. And yeah, and it's so funny how life is.
Yeah. And you know what? In the college radio scene, back in the 80s was the greatest. I remember a friend of mine, he ended up going to this white school up in Connecticut. It was mostly white. And he brought the little crew up there. I remember us getting in a rental car. Back then, you could be 15 years old and rent a car, right? And you know, it was weird. It's just the times were just so different back then. And we used to drive, and we was just like celebrities, you know, up on the campus, you know, and we used to sleep in the dorm in his room, but go out and do a show, and it was amazing. Like that I don't think these kids will never see what we saw and experience what we saw. And there was no cell phones back then.
No, none at all. And none at all. Like we just like you went to the party and you actually danced because you know what? You didn't really have a choice. There was no screen, there was no cell phone, there wasn't anything. Like you actually had to dance.
A house party, you was going in there to get it in. You wasn't thinking, wasn't nobody on the phone, wasn't nobody texting each other, wasn't nobody. You went down there and get on the way, and you was just trying to find a girl and dance.
That's it. Your whole agenda was to dance. That was it. You had no other agenda when you walked in that room.
No, my agenda was going to find a girl and dance.
Right. And also, right. I mean, that's also when you met people. I met my husband. It is Joe, AJ's cousin. I met my husband at a party.
Yep.
I met him at a party, at a college party. That's where we met. At a college party, and that's what we did. And it's so funny you saying that, because WYBC, which is the Yale Broadcasting Corporation, was big because the Yale Broadcasting Station was primarily, its entire programming was Black music. So we spent that's where we, you know, I grew up originally in New Haven, and that's where we heard everything. That's where people came. That's where we saw them. You know, it was through the Yale broadcast. It was through WYBC. So when you talk about like white spaces that had like college,
exactly
radio, that's what it was. I went to a predominantly white. I went to a BWI. And
I gotta see what school Carlton was. It was in Connecticut.
Yeah,
and when we got on campus, like, yo, where's the black people, bro? Like, we didn't see any black. It was just him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, how are you the only black guy? You know, and I don't know what school. I have to hit him on Instagram because SM radio. He stayed with it.
Yeah,
he ended up having a radio station and stuff like that in Connecticut. He literally stayed with it, and he still does radio. He still does radio in Connecticut. So
I have a number of people that I know that still. My first grade friend, which is why I was on the Tom Joy and the Morning Cruise, is a radio. She's a radio personality in Indianapolis. She's a program like a director of operations.
I gotta find out what college that was.
Yeah.
I gotta hit him and say, what college did we go to? But we had a great time.
As an artist, it was the college stations that we got most love. The college stations played us. The colleges booked us. The colleges, we did all the fraternity parties, the sorority party, all the parties for all the events and stuff. We most of our money, we got most love from colleges because we wasn't getting daytime radio love, and it wasn't every commercial station didn't have a mix show yet. You got love, somewhere between 10 and 4 in the morning, you know what I'm saying, on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday, like just the oddest days. They came on crazy times, but that's where we got all our love. So yeah, shout out to college radio and everybody who does that. Any last words? Anything else we want to anything else?
I just want to thank you again. This has really been a pleasure. I appreciate it. Please, happy to come on anytime, especially if there's a medical issue or something, or
absolutely.
Chat about. I'm always happy to do that, even if it's about radio.
Well, you came on. I think you came on for COVID. I think you came on during COVID.
I did. Oh my God, I did a ridiculous amount of ridiculous. At that time, I did which doesn't even exist anymore. Black News Unite something. It was Brian Allen, I think, on that. Did a lot. Yeah, a lot of town halls and listen, let me say this too before I go. I don't know, but we are not prepared. Okay, if we are to have another pandemic prior to COVID, what we had were, and this is important, we had epidemics. Epidemics are regional, right? Swine flu, MERS, which was the Middle Eastern respiratory virus, which was a coronavirus, by the way, and SARS, which was in China, which is a coronavirus, and also Ebola, which was regional to Africa. And so those were all epidemics. So Obama had prepared us for what was to be an epidemic. But by having someone start to create a vaccine for coronavirus, which is what Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett started in 2014, though she doesn't get enough credit. The NAACP honored her last year for her work because it was commandeered by somebody else who claimed that they did it, but it was a Black woman who created the coronavirus vaccine. And that's important to our community because we did not take the vaccine because we didn't understand that we created the vaccine.
That's crazy.
Okay. Right. Because under a Black president, by the way.
That's crazy. Lastly, I want to give you a shout out. I see your chain jingling.
Yeah.
So, as two fathers of daughters who are AKAs, shout out to you.
Absolutely.
Yes, I appreciate it. Yes.
I just want to mention Dennis over here from Ghana said that he was the person that drove you.
No way.
Yeah, so you got a fan. All the way from Ghana.
That's amazing.
He said, "Great to see you again, Dr.
What
Chase."
happened?
Oh, bless you. Oh, that's amazing. Wow, this how small the world is.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yes, that was an unbelievable experience, Dennis. That my trip there was life-changing, and I highly recommend that everyone step their foot on the continent of Africa, because it really. I'm gonna say I will say this, and I think it really speaks to what we're talking about today. What I learned when I was there, that I am my ancestors' wildest dreams, and
Absolutely.
That's what I learned, and I also learned that I am the descendant of the most resilient, surviving group of people who have ever walked this earth. Okay.
Talk about it. Yes.
Okay. And through generations and generations and generations and generations. And they were determined to survive so that I could be here. And so that was not lost on me, and it changed. Not that I was always a proud Black woman, but it's very different when you get to see what they had to endure in order for me to be here. And I can never repay that debt. So I am responsible to continue to be an advocate for people who look like me, but just the human race, and to make people feel seen and heard. So I'm grateful for that. So Ghana I will always have a special place in my heart because it really was life-changing for me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for all that you do. We wanted to give you your flowers again.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Women's History Month, International Women's Day. Dr. Traci Gardner.
Thank you.
Salute you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate you. All right, then take care.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. I'm gonna edit that part of the show and just post it separately for Women's Month.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna do that later on tonight or tomorrow. You'll see that, and we'll share that. We also, I also sent y'all a link. I booked somebody, since it's Women's Month. I booked somebody for the show next week, dealing with Jacqueline Glass, the creator of the documentary Sisters Getting Well. Talk about health and wellness and stuff. It's gonna have a great health and wellness conversation, and talk about her documentary and everything. So I think that's important. We not only celebrate the achievement of our sisters, but we talk about, like Damon did an article on this Women's History Month. Can we talk about mental health with our Black women, or prioritize mental health with the Black women?
Absolutely.
So he did that last year. I reposted that. So we need to address these things as well. Just talk about this one was first and this one was first, but we need to take this space and address these issues as well. So yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just received a call from Percy in Ghana to tell me that my friend Dr. Traci is on air live.
But yeah.
Shout out to Dennis. This is his first time tuning into the show. Hope you enjoy what you see, brother. And if you do, make sure you come back. If you're watching this, you'll see you on LinkedIn. We're also on YouTube and everything. Make sure you like, subscribe, make sure you're following us and all that good stuff. Now we're going into the segment that Damon likes to call the Sunday Rundown.
Yes, Sunday Rundown, man. We
just in the beginning of the show, it said the show is never afraid to say what need to be said, so you don't know what you might hear during this portion of the show. So strap up, get ready, because it's about to go down.
Yeah, so we got a little Sunday Rundown, and I'm doing a full show on Tuesday about this, but I needed, since not everybody that watched the live actually watches the other shows. So I wanted to talk about it because, I tried to speak on it a little on Facebook, and some of the responses was kind of was actually kind of disappointing in seeing people. So for those of you that don't know, well, we all should know. If you're Black in America, you know that Jesse Jackson passed, right?
Rest in peace, absolutely.
Right. And at the press conference, let me move it over here. Now, where did y'all go? I gotta add y'all guys. So no. I just trying to make sure. I'm trying to use this thing to get more sexy with it. Okay. So at the press conference, Jesse Jackson said, at the press conference of his father, Jesse Jackson said this.
On me, Dad believed that funerals were not for the dearly departed. He believed funerals were for the living. He believed that they were great gathering meetings, and no two lives in human history will have the same number of people attending their funerals, or the same people will be at their funerals, because your friends ain't my friends ain't your friends. We don't know the same people. You don't know the same people that I know. Do not bring your politics out of respect to Reverend Jesse Jackson and the life that he lived to these homegoing services. Come respectful and come to say thank you. But these homegoing services are welcome to all. Democrat, Republican, liberal, and conservative, right wing, left wing, because his life is broad enough to cover the full spectrum of what it means to be an American. We only ask people to come and be respectful in the context of the extraordinary life that he lived. Dad would have wanted us to have a great meeting to discuss our differences, to find ways of moving forward and moving together. And if his life becomes a turning point in our national political discourse, amen. Amen.
Now, the stratosphere is going crazy because Barack Obama made it political. Kamala Harris made it political. Joe Biden made it political. And the response from Negroes, when you want to have a conversation about you should respect the family's wishes. I don't care about Trump. The response is, well, Trump has nothing to do with the funeral. If the family asks, do not make it political, then why would they go up there and make it political? See, this is the sickness that I've been saying from the beginning that we are seeing from the Democrats. And it's not defending Trump. Trump had nothing to do with the funeral. He wasn't even there. This is becoming a sickness. When you roll up in a church, disrupt a church, because the pastor might work for ICE, and you disrupt and you interrupt people praying and trying to get close to God, talking about Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot. That's a sickness. When the family of one of the greatest civil rights leaders in my time that I saw on TV asked politicians not to come with the politics. And Barack Obama gets on stage and starts with the BS. Kamala starts with the BS. And Weekend at Bernie's, Joe Biden, who I don't even know if he knew what he was talking about, starts with the BS. Sooner or later, we have to lower this stuff down. And this is what he said the next night at the Rainbow Push. Hold on, I gotta work this thing. I gotta hire me a whatchamacallit,
As you're going to fall largely on you.
I listened for several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson.
Boom. And they didn't know him. And the fact of the matter is, Jesse ain't really like Obama. That's why he got caught on that hot mic. Y'all remember the hot mic incident?
No.
You don't remember the hot mic?
What was the hot mic?
Jesse was doing an interview somewhere and forgot the mic was on. and he was going in on Obama.
Mm.
He went in on Obama, but he thought the mic was off. And then wait a minute, Jesse Jackson Jr., he went to jail, requested a pardon from Obama. Obama didn't do it. He requested a pardon from Biden, and Biden even giving him a pardon. But yet they're speaking at his father's funeral? And then they don't respect the wishes of the family. See, let's just like Junior said, when you don't know my father, you can't talk about who he is.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that didn't go politics because he knew his father was Bill Clinton. And here's the sad thing about it. The three gets up and disrespects Trump from the podium. But Trump was the one who supported Jesse Jackson when he ran for president. Trump was the one that gave Rainbow Push an office in Trump Towers. Trump was the one who negotiated Jesse Jackson going down to Wall Street or whatever they call that thing when they speak down there at the financial district. Mm-hmm. That was Trump. And this is not defending Trump. Mm-hmm. It's not defending him at all. This is calling out the hypocrisy because Trump wasn't part of the funeral.
So for Larnez, I pulled it up. Unaware that his microphone was on before a television interview, Jackson said Obama had been overly critical of the black community. Quote, see Barack Obama been talking down to black people on his faith base, then says ... want to cut his nuts off. Jesse said in the video that aired Wednesday on Fox News on the O'Reilly factor. And then days later, he apologized for the open mic slight against Obama.
But see, all that, I think if I'm not sure, but see, all that was around when he dissed Reverend Wright, Barack Obama. I don't know. Do you know that? You know that story, Larnez?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Reverend Jeremiah Wright, one of our greatest, he's one of the greatest black pastors. Mm-hmm. Right? Old now. He's in the wheelchair just like Jesse was, right? These are old soldiers. He was the family, they went to his church. That was their home church, right? He made a speech and he talked about the chickens coming home to roost. Mm-hmm. Biblically, he connected it biblically about America having to repent for its sins. Mm. So, of course, the white press took it and made it into anti-American, blah, 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 blah. So what did Barack Obama do? He distanced himself from his own pastor in Chicago. So a lot of people wasn't feeling what he did back then.
I do want to say, so you get the complete story. So in his apology, Jackson said he is a strong supporter of Obama. But then he said that on GMA with ABC News with co-anchor Chris Cuomo. But he said, and yet within the black community, there are more severe structural crises. The infant mortality rate is high. Life expectancy is shorter. Most children in schools with teachers with less than 3 years experience the highest murder rate. And now the need to revive the ban on assault weapons. I mean, these things of great substance must be addressed with more passion. And so that's what he was saying. You know, he wanted, I guess he wanted those things. I guess he wanted Obama to address more of those situations. And he said that was kind of what he said, what he was saying. Right. He's talking down to black people, but he did make the cut. He's like, he want to cut his nuts off, though.
Listen, I think he meant more than that, right? I really think he meant more than that.
There's more to it. I wanted to give some context. No. I'm talking about
the political response was correct.
Yeah.
But in 8 years of Obama, he didn't fix none of that.
Nope. He didn't touch it.
Yeah, and I'm literally writing a book called The Federal Experience, 160 years of of legislation and the outcomes for Black America over 160 years. And Barack Obama is one of my chapters, examining the outcomes of his presidency. And it wasn't good for Black America. It was nice to see a Black family in the White House. That was great. Gave us a lot of feelings and emotions. Right? It was nice to see a Black man debate the best minds of politics on that level of stage to go be presidency. But after he got elected, the outcomes of legislation and laws and benefits to Black people, there was none other than feelings and emotions. And I'm not slamming them. We just examining policy. It's not feelings, it's just data. What was the policies and what was the outcomes? How did the Black community reflect? What was the data? I ain't worried about feelings. What was the data? This is what happened. So, yes, Jesse understood that, but we and a lot of people understood it, but I guess having him there, the symbolism was more important than anything else to get him in there. And hopefully that he did right.
And he ran for president. Paving the way for Obama to run until he had that other situation where he made a comment about the Jewish people and that kind of derailed his presidency. But
I know about that story.
Yeah. But he came out of that
news.
Right. And he but he came out of the camp of Martin Luther King. He was one of the younger guys with Martin Luther King. He walked with him and all of that. And he also was a big influence on Al Sharpton and others. And so, I didn't get a chance to actually watch the funeral. I know it's available, and so I'm going to watch it later. I've been running around like crazy. But so I want to watch it in its entirety because I've seen little clips and stuff, and I want to see the whole thing. But, we just want to celebrate the life and legacy of Jesse Jackson, what he meant for our community and all that he has done. We get this thing like, ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody got, they whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, we look at these situations and be like, oh, but he did this, but he did that. But yeah, he did a lot of good stuff too. So you got to show both sides, and he paved the way for a lot of people. So we've got to celebrate his life and his legacy. I'll probably do a piece on the life and legacy of Jesse. I haven't got a chance to do that yet, but I'll probably do a nice thorough piece on his life and legacy, and we'll celebrate that at Black Westchester. But shout to him and his family. And I saw Damien when you posted it, and I saw all the comments, pro and con. Some people were saying that, but he was an activist and he was speaking up on political issues and stuff and stuff like that. And you said, but he's not a politician. I seen the whole back and forth. Like it got you. It got you. No, but I'm saying it got mad comments. Like you want to. There was an engaging conversation, pro and con, both back and forth.
Look, here's the thing. For everybody, if you come on my page, my Facebook page, and you make a comment that don't make no sense, I'm going to check you. It's just straight up. You're not going to use my page as a sounding board for your BS. I've blocked a couple of people already, and one little white boy got disrespected, and I told him. I said, I went on his page and I saw he run for something. I said, the next time you run for something, I'm going to let everybody know you're a racist.
Well, and I want to be clear on that too.
Because some of these white people think they could tell you anything. That Black people, and we talked about this before, that Black people, we don't have a mind of our own. We have to go with what the narrative that they tell us. And Black folks, stop doing that. We have a mind of our own. If you disagree You disagree. We have experiences of our own. We are descendants of people who was shackled. No, our opinions are not going to be the same as white liberals who's just trying. I don't even know what they're doing. They're insane.
I don't disagree with that.
Go
Brenda
ahead.
posted the comment that Reverend Wright made, said Obama distanced himself from Wright after comments from the minister's 2003 sermon surfaced. Wright said in part the government gives them drugs. That's true. Bills bigger prisons. That's true. Passes 3-strike laws. That's true. And then sings "God Bless America." He said, "No,
God damn America." But not just that, Brenda. He tied it in. If you listen to the whole speech, he tied it into scripture.
Right.
He used scripture to defend what he was saying.
And for those that don't remember, so it was the government that flooded South Central LA with drugs and guns to finance an illegal, unsanctioned war in the Contras. They flooded South Central. So that part, the government gives them drugs, and then the privatizing of the prison system, the prison pipeline, the whole thing. That part is true. So I mean, those things are true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is.
Obama. So Obama at the time was while he's black, and
he's black, but he ain't black because he ain't got.
No. But I wanted to make a point. Like Jackie Robinson, when he was the first black person to be into the Major League Baseball, it took him. He wasn't the best Negro baseball player, but some of them Satchel Paige and them other ones, they couldn't. They'd have been. You'd have called them the N-word. They'd have been up there fighting. They'd been ready to fight. They'd have been. He had the demeanor to be that. And Obama, part of the reason Obama was selected is because he had the demeanor to be that. Like, he wasn't going to be too, you know what I'm saying, too pro-black. He wasn't going to be too, saying those things.
I feel like
he was safe.
Well, I feel like us as black people, right? Melanated people, minority individuals, we are comfortable with optics, right? And it's sad to say, as soon as we see a face, we're like, at least the face got in there. And we don't really double down on the decision-making, the responsibilities of decision-making in those spaces, right? Because you're not just in that space to be the face. You're in a space to be a change maker. You're in a space because now they might have been putting a Band-Aid on the bullet wound, but you have the core tool or the core solution that will help them so they can stop guessing, so they can stop over-resourcing places that other places need resources, but they're saying, oh no, we helped you out. We're working on this project. And then they use their optic to heal that project, that issue, and it causes other issues. When if you would have touched somebody or talked to somebody who was close to the trauma, you may not have taken so long to address the issue. It would have been addressed a little quicker. But us as Black people are so comfortable with optics. Even when Eric Adams got in office, my father lived all the way in Florida. He was like, I'm coming up back. I'm coming to New York. We got a Black man, Eric. Eric in there. And I'm like, Dad.
Listen.
He's
not fighting for anything that you're fighting for.
We thought the same thing too till he announced his cabinet. Then I was like,
we had him on the show and everything. We had him on the show. We had a big show with him and everything.
We thought the same until we saw the Negroes he put around him. I've known Eric since the 90s. And I know the Negroes he put around him. And I know who got Eric there and who didn't. And when I saw who was where they were, it was like this. It's over. He's going to fall because of the people that he put around him. And the people
that he
that
didn't keep with him that brought him there.
Right. And then the people he let fall, like Ingrid. Ingrid is still looking at multiple charges now from the New York City DA.
Mm-hmm.
And she literally didn't do anything wrong. She literally didn't do anything that any other city hall person would have done. You know, but Eric left her high and dry. So that shows us the mentality of the man. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and it's you know, and it's really sad. But I want to get back to Barack Obama real quick. Then I'm gonna go to the next story. We have to remember, Barack Obama don't have our experiences. See, black people, we're so starving for justice. We are starving for justice. We like a crackhead. Anything that look like justice, we gonna snap onto it, even when it's not, even when it's a planned deception. He's raised by white folks. He don't have our experiences. Michelle Obama was the tie to the black community. It wasn't Barack.
Southside Chicago.
Yep, she came right out of Chicago.
Reverend Wright's church was Michelle Obama's family church. It wasn't Barack. He had no connection to black folks other than his African father. So when we talking about he's the first black president, what kind of black you talking about? Cocoa black? Right? Manufactured. So is Kamala Harris. Because when she was in California, she was running as the first Indian.
She sure was.
She sure was. The first Indian senator, the first Indian attorney general. She wasn't running as no first black. She got your sisters twisted.
Excuse me.
Bamboozled all of y'all. This is what they do to us in politics. That's why my book is titled what? Emotional Politics, Logical Failure. Because that's what we've been doing. All right. Here's this Negro Mamdani, right? This Negro here. So we all notice, conscious people notice his acceptance speech that he said immigrants built America. Mm-hmm. And when I was watching, I said, whoa, bro. Immigrants ain't just built America. Mm-hmm. It was slaves and freedmen that built America. Mm-hmm. So now he decides to backtrack. And us in media, you could tell he was prepared. He already knew this question was coming.
Built by immigrants, but how do we also include enslaved people and indigenous people who have built the foundation of America and New York City as well?
So I have to admit, I've been guilty of this myself.
I didn't want to say
it's true. I did say that myself. A city built by immigrants. And I think the first thing is, if we're being honest, then we have to tell the full story, right? And when we tell a sweeping generalization like that, we lose sight of the fact that Black New Yorkers helped to build New York City.
I felt some type of way.
Understandable. Understandable. That's why I'm here to apologize, because you learn from it. Mm-hmm. And I think that as much as we want to, and we should support immigrant New Yorkers and their incredible place in the city, doing so doesn't necessitate that we overlook the contributions of Black New Yorkers. We can tell that full story.
No, why do you say that at the Black Caucus?
He wasn't talking about that at the Black Caucus.
Well, they didn't call him on it at the Black
They
Caucus.
didn't. They didn't. They was
treating him like he was
praising.
Jesus. Jesus, like Jesus walked in the goddamn room.
I don't know about Jesus. Maybe Kanye. I don't know about Jesus.
Some of them, listen, some of them do. When I was walking around, I'm like, y'all niggas don't lost your mind. But this is how we sell ourselves short. This is how we sell ourselves short. Nobody publicly, not even Al Sharp did, called him to the carpet on that. That little podcast, I think he knew that question was coming. But at the end of the day, they should have called him on that from the beginning. You know,
we don't ever do that. I mean, even when Hillary came through Mount Vernon when she was on her Senate run and her presidential run, so many black people be like, you know, they got pictures with her in the Democratic campaign office, and they they didn't ask her about none of the things that she said or none of the things. We need you to do these things. They were just happy to see her and was celebrating with her and took pictures with her. And they're like, yeah, I got my picture with Hillary. You know, we don't utilize those opportunities like other communities where when these people are running, we're like, yo, this is what we need you to do for our support. You know what I'm saying? This is the things we need for you. What are you going to do for us for make them earn our vote? We don't do that. And then we get what we get and then we don't understand why.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard for us to come out and actually vote, right? I'm helping. I'm just gonna say I'm helping my friend on her campaign, and I'm knocking on doors, and people saying I don't vote, even though you're registered Democrats, right? I don't vote anymore. I'm not voting no more.
I heard that when I actually did phone banking for Jamal Bowman. Mm-hmm. And in his strongness of his base, like in the Bronx, like the way he had the numbers so high, there was people like, oh, I'm not voting no more, or this, that, and the other, or I can't vote for him because he went against my president when he didn't vote for the infrastructure bill that Biden was putting through. He was like, he voted against my president. I can't vote for him no more. But there was so many people saying they wasn't voting, and it was like, I was just like that. But yo, I wanted to talking about Bowman, we saw you talking about doing politicians doing stuff for black people. When Bowman got in, I mean, you know, he did his own things to fumble the ball on the 5-yard line. But one of the things he was doing, he was trying to move more for the marginalized communities. And when he ran against, when George Latimer ran against him in the debate, I think it was the News 12 debate, Latimer tried to make that like, oh, he only wanted to do stuff for black people. He wanted to do things that were never being done for black people in those communities. Mm-hmm. But it was thrown at him that, oh, he wants to do, I want to do stuff for the whole community. He only wants to do things for black people. That wasn't true, but he was trying to do more for black people than had been done. And that was thrown at him, and the media ran with that narrative. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like you try to make a difference and you try to do, you know, if you got systems in place that benefit a group of people and you start to try to do things for the group of people that's not benefiting, you're actually breaking down the systems of the people that has been doing something, been benefiting from these systems. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, he's trying to take our stuff away. They don't want to acknowledge that the group of people that's not getting stuff that they benefit on these people not getting it. They don't want to address that. And if you address that, it's like, oh no, you try to take our stuff away. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and that's the narrative that runs through the media with our leaders. So, you know, and the fact that when we have a leader who is trying to do stuff for us, we do not have their back. We let everybody run with these narratives and we don't have their back. And that's right. One of the things, you know, we want these black leaders to do things for us, but when they do, and then they catch heat for it, we do not have their back. Yes, there's a few of us who do, but not enough of us.
No. Not at all.
What was the next? I know we running the time. What was your next topic?
Yeah. I'm trying to run through them. So, all right. First, I just want to real quick. I want to play. I'm going to keep doing this every week because I want Black people to talk about making sure that Black women that have babies in this time period get this money and be able to create generational wealth. This is what it's all about now. And if we're not having these conversations, we're never going to have a conversation, because many people that are retiring now still don't have much money to retire. And if they do retire, they're just making it. Mm-hmm. They're just making it. So I want to play Dr. Boyce Watkins, who's a professor in finance. And when I posted this on Facebook, you got Negroes arguing with a professor in finance. And you know what my question was after them? Are you a professor? Do you deal with finance? The man has finance as a doctor's degree. You know more than him? And that ends the conversation. But because we got Trump derangement syndrome, and anything comes out of that White House has to be bad.
Well, I want to say financial literacy is a part of our trauma also, right? And it's things that need to be healed in our community. Improving your financial literacy and understanding the trauma that comes with it, right? So when people see something and they don't want to take it because they feel like that it's dirty money, right? It came from the wrong place.
Right.
But we've never really been explained policy, right? And sometimes we too old to even ask the question, like, explain this to me. Because if I ask you that, I'm going to feel like I'm stupid, even though I'm operating in ignorance.
Right. Well, hopefully... all right, let's just get into that, because I don't want you to start laughing. I don't want to get into another subject because, hold on a second.
Don't have to do anything in order to receive, and it's designed to grow over time. Okay, so the Trump accounts, money that your child can get that they don't have to do anything in order to receive, and it's designed to grow over time, kind of like an IRA for babies. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm a finance professor. Give me 2 minutes. I will explain how your child or grandchild is eligible for a Trump account, what that means, how much money they'll have long term, and anything else I can share with you, because I'm always down for the free money. So here's the deal. Apparently there's something called a Trump account that is eligible for any child that is born between January 1st, 2025 up through December 31st, 2028. They're going to be launched around July 4th, 2026. And apparently they're calling this kind of an IRA for babies. Why are they doing this? Well, part of it is because you are in the middle of one of the greatest retirement crises in the history of this country. Millions of Americans are not ready for retirement because they did not put money in the IRA or the 401k. I'm not judging. I know we got bills to pay, but that's just what it is. It's going to be quite messy. So if you want to know how to get access to this account, basically there's a form, IRS form 4547, I believe, that you fill out with your taxes, and what they'll do is they'll put $1,000 in your child's Trump account if your child was born in those dates. Now, you can also contribute to the account up to $5,000 a year. You can write it off on your taxes, the contribution, similar to an IRA. The money can't be touched until the child is 18, and when the child is 18, standard IRA rules apply, which means that if they withdraw the money for an unqualified use, then they will be penalized and taxed like everybody else. So am I mad about it? I'm not mad. It's free money, man. I know it's political and all that, and he's got his name on it, but it's money, and it does actually make a difference, and most Americans actually approve of this kind of thing. So go get your money, man. Do your thing, and make sure you're investing consistently. Here's the deal. Look, if you put that $1,000 in that account when the child's a baby, they're literally going to have like over $400 $400,000 extra money at retirement, even if you don't add anything to it, which is kind of just mind-boggling. But imagine if you're consistently putting a few $1,000s in the account every year or every month for the child, maybe a few hundred every month, the same amount as your car note. Your child will have so much money by the time they're in their 20s that they won't actually have to work for anybody. Do you understand what that does? That changes everything. There's not all this stress that people are feeling, paycheck to paycheck, doing a job that they hate. Your kids don't have to go through any of that. So I say, if you love your child, do this for your child. Maybe it's not the Trump account, but create your own account. Right? How about that? How about we show love to our kids by getting them ready for society as opposed to letting them get out here and get their butts kicked? That's it. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm a finance professor. I teach finance for free every morning to 10,000 people. Put the word money in the comments if you're on Instagram, or text money to 87948. I'll invite you to class. See you soon. Peace.
I wanted to say something so real quick. So when I was coming up, one of the things my mother did, instead of buying a bunch of toys and stuff for all her nieces and friends' kids, she would get savings bonds for the kids, which had to accrue over so many years or something. So, you might get a toy or something, but you would also get them a savings bond in every birthday, or because she would get them a savings bond. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if we do that no more. I mean, I'm 60, so you're talking, years ago, a couple of decades ago. But that was one of the things she tried to do. And there were other parents that I saw that did that as well back then. I don't know if we even do that for our young people, for our nieces and nephews and the young peoples in our lives. The savings bond is something that can accrue and develop to a certain amount. And, you get them something like that every birthday and every Christmas or stuff. I'm not saying don't get toys and don't get other stuff, but in addition to that, get that. And I think we've lost that somehow. So I just wanted to say that real quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He said, the important thing about what he said. So here's the important thing. The most important takeaway from this, for those that don't want to have anything to do with Trump's name, because it's called the Trump account. Set up one for yourself and put X amount of dollars in it each month that the kid can't touch till they're 18. I'd say make it 21, not 18, make it 21. You know what I'm saying? Because, sometimes you're 18 and 21, you ain't responsible either. So I'd say make it 21. And once you do that, have family and friends also put money into that. That is something that you can do on your own. You don't have to, and it don't have to be called the Trump account for people who have a problem with the word Trump. You understand what I'm saying? But utilize, and you heard Dr. Boyce Watkins, utilize what he said and create this ourselves. We're not doing this ourselves. And I think that should be the takeaway from this. Let's take Trump's name out of it, because there will be people who will watch it and be like, "Oh no, it's Trump." So do it yourself. You can do this yourself.
So
that's the takeaway from this.
Go ahead, Larnez.
So you know what? And I had this conversation earlier in the week. When I was young, right? I didn't think I was gonna make it past 25, right? So I didn't plan for anything past 25. I was tearing, like I was a wreck with my mother until I was like 24. And then when 25 hit, I was like, oh snap. Like I thought I was going to be gone. I have to start preparing for my future. And we need to start thinking like, let's not, what's that song? 24 hours to live. What would you do? What you would do, right? We always think about the 24. That's a real reality for our kids in our communities every day, but we don't look 24 years into the future, right? We need to start shifting that narrative to start looking 24 years into the future to say, hey, I know I'm gonna be here for 24 years. What do I want to see myself do in that time? We don't prepare for that. We just think of all I got is today, and we have to shift from that mindset. I'm complete.
Before Damon go, I want to just read a comment, Damon. Damon K. Jones, thank you. This is from Brenda Crump for the Dr. Voice video. It's crazy that nobody's talking about this when Black women have more babies than white women. So who is going to benefit from this?
Right. not only that.
That's what I'm just that came from Brenda.
I'm going to close this off with an unpopular opinion for all you Negroes out there.
Is you starting it like that?
Yeah. Unpopular opinion for all you Negroes out there.
That should be a section. We need to put a graphic up and do that every week. Unpopular opinion for all you Negroes. That should be a section. Okay, I'm sorry.
We know that there will be no president that will honestly outright give black people reparations.
Facts.
Because number one, we don't have the political will to demand it. And number two, we don't have the cash flow to buy out our politicians. Because we don't have no economic structure as black people. Right? What if, since I said what I said on the post, black women have more babies than white women? Who technically benefits from this bill with the outcomes? Black women. When we're not looking at when we're looking at outcomes, right? Thank you, sir. He already understand what I'm saying. You get that's a form. If we as a people, as a whole, take advantage of that one piece of legislation, that's a form of reparations for the future. Because our births outnumber white births. So who benefits from that as a whole 20 years down the line? So if Dr. Boyce Watkins, professor in finance, said what? They will have what, at least 400,000?
They put nothing into it and just let it
run. $1,000, right? So imagine if every black mother or black parent take advantage of that and put more than just $1,000, because he said just $1,000 you get will turn into 400,000. So imagine if they put $4,000 a year in there, then black children will be ahead of white children in the next 25 years. Think about that. Negroes, think about that. From a president that y'all call a racist, from a president that you don't even talk about this program in the churches or in the communities. When is the NAACP going to have a forum and teach young mothers to make sure they open up these accounts? I think you need to bring that to your president, AJ. Because, see, we need to start talking about that. You two in Yonkers, let's start talking about it. Get somebody that has finance, credibility, and talk about it. And get these young black women with these damn children to get the account and start spending $10,000 on a damn baby shower and put that money in the account. Or they spending $6,000, $7,000 for a birthday party. The child 3. Just to show off to other broke Negroes. Take that money and put it in an account. We got to start thinking like producers, or we're going to get left behind, even worse than we are now.
Absolutely. Shout out to Greenberg town clerk Lisa Marie Nero. She's actually hosting a fireside chat with Rashad Bilal and Troy Millens March 21st, discussing these issues for the community. So I think I'll be sharing the flyer.
Good.
I think Lynette says she's going. I'm
going.
I'm
already registered.
I'm trying to.
You going to? No.
I'm trying to jump in her car and ride with her.
You going? Ain't no trying. You coming? You going? You getting picked up?
but I mean, we need to have more things like this, and he's homegrown. You know what I'm saying? And he started out, and he had told you he started out on Black Westchester. You need to go back to watching some of the old clips when he was on, because he was breaking down this stuff for our communities and people weren't paying attention. He was doing Rashad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rashad was coming on. He was writing articles and coming on once a month for the show and discussing all these things for our community, giving you this information for free. And
so there's an organization. I'm gonna reach out to see if I can get somebody to come out to the show. Mm-hmm. But there is an organization in Bronx. They cover Bronx, Manhattan, a small piece of Long Island, and they were actually giving single moms $1,000 a month
Excuse me.
For the first 3 years of their kids' lives. Right.
Find out who that organization is.
Yeah, I'm gonna
we can maybe get them on and find out what it is that they what it is that they do and why they're doing it, and maybe encourage some of our other communities to get involved in it too.
What I saw was, when I was reviewing it, they were giving them financial literacy. They were helping them broaden their education wherever they wanted to be. And they were also giving them support because the father was not in the life of the child. So they gave you that support for the first 3 years of the child's life to give you a good foundation. And these were women who went through a lot of trauma themselves. But it was covering the Bronx. And you know how I know? My daughter was having a baby at that time, and she was living in my studio apartment. And I was like, girl, you need your own space. Go look at this program. But they didn't cover Yonkers. they were covering the other spaces, so she didn't qualify. But I just thought it was a dope program because I was a single mom before. And the programs that were available to me, I did lean into. I did try to get my foot in the ground to be able to not always be in survival mode with my kids.
So Damon mentioned it, and Brenda backed Damon up. Yes, I am the vice president of the Mount Vernon NAACP, and I will be bringing this up to our executive committee that we need to do some kind of definitely like what Lisa Marie's doing, some kind of fireside chat or town hall or something dealing with financial literacy for our community. Because Mount Vernon, we definitely need that. We need that more than anybody.
You need to do it for City Hall too.
Well. I'm talking as the vice president. We talk about the resident for the community. Yeah, that's a whole other. That's a whole other discussion. Yeah, that's a whole other discussion. We're gonna try to educate we need to do more. We need to do more to educate our community, and I hear that, and hopefully we can pull some of that together. That and civics training. We need training in our civics. We need to educate our people in our civics and financial literacy. And you were talking about how a community is doing, and we talk about our elected officials and the shape of our community. These are things that we need to be doing, and organizations like the NAACP and others need to be leading the charge and educating the community, because we can get more of our community to be more financial literate. Then you're talking about a more, you can have more people thriving in the community, more people doing better in the community, and we don't have to worry about certain things that the politicians is doing. You know what I'm saying? We need to not put everything on our politicians, because no.
It should be for us. It should be for us.
Needs to stand up and do certain things ourselves. We need to,
yeah. So we got 2 more stories I want to get through, and then we out.
All right.
So Jasmine Crockett lost. If you didn't, I knew she wasn't going to win, right? And here's the thing. Tellerico was the opponent. His campaign he had the better campaign. He was built his campaign. He built coalitions. Jasmine Crockett's campaign was straight, thought that she was just going to win with the black vote. You can't disrespect Hispanics, which she did many times, especially with immigration. Who's gonna do our farms? Ain't you tired of picking cotton? Black folks, we don't pick cotton no more. These are the things that she was saying.
She said that?
Right? Yeah, she said it. Look it up.
I will.
Right? Telling black folks, oh, we don't pick cotton. We tired of picking cotton. Like the Hispanics are here to do our dirty work. Not as elected officials. You're silly. And you can't keep calling white people racist when you need white people to vote for you, even Democrats. So then there was a little issue. There was an issue with the Dallas polling places. They were telling people to go to the wrong place and this and that. So basically her excuse was that. But even if Dallas was open, if you look how the numbers were going in the election, he was still probably won anyway. Right? Because he was there was only few places she was coming up. And she might have got it close, but nobody thinks that those votes would have made a difference in the thing. So here is and then there's something else.
What was the percentage she lost by? Was it overwhelming?
It was 53 to 46.
Okay, that's not okay. So
yeah,
if you add some more people, I mean, it could have been closer.
Yeah, but his would have went up too. Right? I mean, she would have had to outright win all those votes. So mainly when you start seeing how the numbers were, even if those numbers would have came in, she might had a little bit, but he would have still got votes too.
So
right, he would have had to outright get all those votes.
Right, she wasn't. So the point wasn't that they were all her voters that didn't vote.
Right.
But then there's the low turnout, and then there's the low turnout among our people.
Right, and that too. And then Dallas County was, if you watch it, it's the most people of color, but it also has Hispanic people too. See, Tellerico won the Spanish vote. He kicked her ass in the Spanish vote. Right. So now there's now everybody's mad at Hispanic people. Well, they vote for their own interests. They don't vote for black people's interests.
That's what we should do more of. But that's another conversation. Go ahead.
Right. So I just want to run her say, but then we're going to see who really kicked her in the butt. Oh, yep. Here we go. Now that's the number. This is her speech.
None of this should have happened. Let's talk about the many failures. Let's talk about what was intentional. Number one, the Republicans only did this to intentionally disenfranchise and confuse voters. That is number one. But number two, while many people were showing up to the polling locations, they were told things such as, you can't provide a provisional ballot. Now, that is exactly when you would provide a provisional ballot. If you were saying, this is my polling location, and they're saying, no, it's not, you should, at a very minimum, be able to cast your provisional ballot. We've heard countless stories of people being told you can't. Then we hear stories of people saying, we're trying to go to DallasCountyVotes.org, and the website keeps crashing.
So I want to say right here, this is the breakdown, because it's a statewide election. So this is the breakdown. You got 40% Hispanic, 40% white, 13% black. There's no way you could, 6% Asian. It's no way you're going to win without a coalition of black and white voters.
Any statewide or federal position, we do not have the numbers for. First off, even if we had the numbers, let's say we had the numbers, our voter turnout it would hurt us too. But we don't have the numbers where our black leaders can depend on just black votes. So, and making that case and campaigning, while you do want to cover the black issues, you can't alienate everybody else, or you're never going to get elected.
But that was the warning everybody was saying about Jasmine Crockett, even Stephen A. Smith. But when people brought it up, they were vilified. See, she had activist energy, viral moments, natural attention, a progressive base. Tellerico had moderates, suburban voters, faith communities, and independents.
Well, national attention
does not
always translate into local votes, because everything is local.
Right.
So you still gotta go through everywhere you gotta go through locally. You still gotta knock on all them doors. You still gotta resonate with all the local voters. And I'm not just talking about her race, I'm talking about in general, because this applies to a lot of people. You have to, unless you're in a city like Mount Vernon and you're running for a Mount Vernon election, but like if you run it countywide, even let's take it even further down. Countywide, a black person is not going to win on just a black vote on a countywide election. You know what I'm saying? Like, much less a state or a federal position, because there's just not enough of us number wise. And then there's how many of us are registered, and out of our registered voters, how many of our registered voters are actually voting? Because you know what? We do this thing, right, where at all these things, we shame people. Oh, you got to register to vote, and right then and there, they will register. There's no follow-up on getting them out to vote and all of that. So a lot of people register to vote and then never vote. You know what I'm saying? Like and then the other part of what she said is, again, the lack of civics teaching in our community, because you need to be able to, when somebody tells you, oh, you can't do this. No, I can, because blah, blah, blah. We're not armed with that information. So you can tell sometimes some of our people the craziest stuff and give them problems because they can't tell you why they can. They can't, no. The law says such and such and such. No, I have the right to do this, and that. You know what I'm saying? When you say, I don't know how it works everywhere else. I know locally, I get a postcard in the mail that tells me my voting location. I'm in this congressional district, I'm in this district, I'm in this is my voting location. When I moved, I took that postcard to the polling place. They did not have an update that I had moved. Even though the Board of Elections had it, I'm not sure how.
But we don't know how every state works different.
No, I'm just saying, but I took that postcard with me that came to me in the mail. There still should be some kind of, we need to arm ourselves, and whatever the process is where you are, you need to arm yourself, so when you go to these places and they tell you no, you be like, no, blase, blah, this, that, and the other. And then who do you call if you run into this? We don't know a lot of this. I'm sure some of our audience right now has no clue what to do if that happens to them. Right. And then that's our failing in our communities in teaching civics, because we don't teach civics in our community. Go ahead. I'm sorry. That's just my
but here's the kick in the butt. I'm going to give y'all the kick in the butt to Jasmine Crockett. See, because she got it twisted. She got a little bit twisted. The Republicans wanted her to win because she was the better candidate for. They don't want to Tellerico to win. Number one, he's white. Number one, he's on that Christian BS, right? And you got a younger white man going against an older white man, and the one that's probably going to come out from the Republican side, he's not 100% good anyway. So Tellerico has a better chance. They wanted Jasmine Crockett to win. Right? But here's the kick. Here's the literally kick in the butt to the black woman. I'm going to show y'all the kick in the butt. Here's the kick in the butt.
State Rep James Tirico, who was on there a while back out of Texas.
Oh, that guy's good, right?
He's terrific. Really talented young man. And it does require a certain confidence in your actual convictions to debate and have a conversation with somebody who disagrees with you on a whole bunch of stuff.
What makes him so good, though? Because there is something grounded about him that you had it too.
You know what?
That was an endorsement. Yeah, that's all. That's what kicked him in. That's what really kicked him in the butt. You had the first black president, allegedly.
Well, he is the first black president, regardless. In this country, if you're 5% black, you black. Yeah, so he's the first black president. I'm not going to take that away from him. Yeah.
I'm going to say allegedly because of the legislation. The first black president who literally went on this show before the primary and said that by her opponent, which went viral.
Right. I know, and I will stand by this though. Whether you agree with him legislatively or not, he was the first black president. We're not gonna allegedly that he was. Now he might not have done everything in black interest that you think he should have, but he was the first black president. We're not gonna allegedly that.
Not all skin folk is our kinfolk.
But that doesn't mean he wasn't the first black president. That everything you're saying is true, but allegedly is the only thing I'm gonna push back on. Because he wasn't, there's not allegedly he was.
I want to tell you because you could be black in the. I done lived long enough. You could be black in a space,
right?
And not black in your actions.
But that still makes you the first black. Not allegedly. That's what I'm saying. Allegedly means that legally you're not. You're saying allegedly.
To me, if you want to say you black, you better go do black shit.
No, your point is right, but that's not what allegedly. That's not what allegedly means. That's not what I'm saying.
You can get your black card snatched.
Oh, you can.
You can get your black card snatched. You could get it,
but allegedly, that's not how you lose. That's not how you like.
And the things Obama
when somebody get accused of a crime. And I say that cop's a murderer, and you said allegedly because they weren't convicted. That's when you use that, like not allegedly black.
I'm going to say allegedly because the actions, and especially the last 2 years, the damn things he's been saying.
Yeah, but
that don't not make you black. You came out the pooch black. Like you can't fix that. Can't change that.
If you part black,
I mean, listen. As I said. All skin folk and our kinfolk. And if you ain't doing black shit, I ain't gonna call you black. That's me.
Well, that's your definition. That's your definition. But we're gonna say, but legally, he was the black president.
How the hell I want to feel, right?
But Black Westchester is not saying that.
Listen,
Obama wasn't the first black president.
If someone want to come on my page or my website and question my blackness over an article, I could question motherfucking Barack Obama's blackness. How about that one?
Questioning his level of blackness and saying he was allegedly the first
black
president.
I can say
those are two different things.
Because you ain't talking like a black man. You ain't talking, and your legislation ain't help black people, and I got the receipts.
That goes for a lot of black politicians.
Well, no, but we talking about Barack.
That does not make them the first black.
We're talking about Barack. Like I said, hey man, all that feeling stuff is good. First black folks in the White House, all that's nice. That makes you feel good, right? It make little young kids want to at least read shit. They at least want to read. I could be president. Let me read and comprehend something. Yeah, that's great.
Right.
But legislatively,
all I'm saying,
you wasn't the first president.
And actually, I'm saying,
look,
historically, and factually,
they can say what they want to say, but the outcomes ain't black.
Take the video down for a minute. Let's just say Tarico had 30,000 volunteers focused on small counties with 1.5 million black voters in major cities staying home. That's how he won.
Well, yeah. Well. He raised more money
because he did the grassroots thing, and he did the grassroots thing. Is what I was saying before. The national thing is not what gets it for you. You have to touch ground. You have to be grassroots. You have to reach out to everybody in that community.
He outspended her. He definitely outspended her. He outraised her, but that didn't help, right? That was the nail in the coffin, right? That was the nail in the coffin.
Have that many volunteers focusing just on the small communities. That's real important.
Well, coalition building beats social media presence, right? And just like you said, AJ, being a national figure has nothing to do with state elections. Has nothing to do with state elections.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Just like having national endorsements. No, national endorsements don't always move the bar and who you're going to vote for in your local elections.
Exactly. And that's what Stephen A. Smith was trying to say. And black.
That's got him in trouble.
Well, no. But yeah, he did say a bunch of. But his main point was, you're not going to win with what you're saying, and it's true. She didn't win.
Mm-hmm. Wait. The Crockett campaign did not have a campaign manager. See? I don't know if that's true. Somebody got to show me that. Well, that's true.
Well, I don't know if it's true, but at the end of the day, Stephen was right.
It lacks infrastructure and volunteers. That part might be true. I don't know if it didn't have campaign.
Dude, I hate to say it. Stephen was right. So now let's get into closeout.
Partially.
Now this,
yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Well, I mean,
partially because
right. I'm not saying everything he was right, but what he was saying.
Right. I just want to be clear on that. Yeah.
Her communications, what she was saying about white people, what she was saying about Latino people, all those things was good on a national level of politics. It helped her raise money. It got her notice, but it wasn't going to. First of all, number one, it wasn't going to get legislation done. When you got to take your piece of legislation into the White House with a man that you call a racist to sign it. That's number one.
Well, you got to get it there. You need the other side to vote on it.
If you're not working across, see, I came up in politics where Democrats and Republicans worked with each other. That's when I came up in politics where it wasn't just one Republican on the legislature. It was split down the middle, where they had to work with each other.
Locally, Reggie Lafayette and Doug Colte worked together a lot. Reggie always talks about that, how they work together.
Listen, most of that shit they plotted together. That's how they stayed in power.
That too. That's still work. That's still working together though. Regardless, that's still working together.
It was like it was like this Joker and the Penguin working together to do bad stuff. That's the only thing I can.
So wait, which one was Reggie? The Joker or the Penguin? Which one was Reggie?
Listen, the Joker. So
Doug was care.
All right, so here's the thing. I want to start this off, man, because this is crazy. People, watch your children, right? Watch your children with New York politics, because this is crazy. So the federal government ended funding with gender affirming care, right? So a lot of hospitals stopped because they didn't want to get caught up in the mess. Now, Tish James is saying to the hospitals, especially this one hospital, right? If they don't do it, they're violating the rights of the minors. Now, when we're
talk about it on the other side.
I'm gonna. Okay, this is what, because I gotta. Hold on, let me play it so you
The
understand.
youth. The letter from AG Letitia James says denying care could be considered discrimination. Hospital systems such as NYU Langone began canceling appointments for some children, according to a report from the New York Times. Trump's order threatens to withhold funding from hospitals that provide gender-affirming treatments to people under 19.
So before we go any further, I have to say this. I have to say this. So I'm not against whatever. When you're young, you do not know what you want to be. Your brain is not fully formed, and to allow a child to have a life-altering surgery or whatever as a minor, I think, like I don't think that's good, because we go. How many times you see kids go through something, they be like, oh, they're just going through a phase. They're just going through a phase. And then next year they're going through a different phase. And the next year they're going through a different phase. So what if for some, not all, what if for some that is a phase, and then you have this life-altering surgery that they got to deal with for the rest of their life, and they don't feel that way for the rest of their life? Like, you should be a certain age before if you're of age, you're over 21, and you decide that's what you want to do, then you're an adult, and you can make a decision, and that's what you want to do. But under that age,
what you mean?
You should not be allowed to. That should not be.
Neuroscientists state that your brain is not fully matured to 25. Right. So now this is why currently
I said 21 because it's legal. That's why, like, you're of legal age. Right. You can do everything else at 21.
Right, but
you're
the
of legal
part
age.
of our brain
under that age, and I know your brain is not, but I'm saying under that age, you definitely shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to do that under that age. And
but
because
this is what I'm saying. If they're contesting, right, kids that are being prosecuted as adults because they did a crime, right? Let's say 18, 19, 20, 13, 14, maybe a violent crime.
Right.
If they're using this data to negate them being tried as adults, why do you feel that the child is still competent enough to make a decision if statistically they're showing your brain does not mature to 25? I'm not talking about legal age to drink. I'm talking about the part of your brain that controls impulse thoughts, the part of your brain that controls I forgot the title, but basically dangerous acts, right? Fear, taking fear out of things. That's the part of your brain that is not developed. So why a child says, "Oh, I want to be a boy." And you say, "You know what? Let's go have life-changing body surgery because you feel like you want to be a boy."
And the sad part is, in California, they don't have to tell the parents. Like, this is the crazy.
See, that I have as a parent, that I have a problem with. Again,
well,
and
I'm not sure. Even in New York, I give Larnez with the whole 25 thing with the brain, but at least 21, you're legally allowed to make decisions and do a lot of things. Your brain might not be fully, but at 18, 17, 14, 13, there's a reason why you can't do a whole lot of stuff at that age. There's a reason why you can't do certain things, because you're definitely not prepared for that. Like, you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not grown. Like, you're not, at 21, you can grown, you can make your, if your parents told you no, at 21, you can make your own decisions. And that's the only reason I said at 21. If you want to do it at that, we can push the bar to 25 as far as your brain, but you can make the decision on your own. But a kid should not be able to go at 13 and have a surgery like that without their parents
without their parents' permission. Like I don't. That part I lose. They lose me on that part. That's the only part they lose me.
Here's the problem that God, that's why it is so important. Black people, single mothers, to pay attention to your children. Have sit downs with them. Like we really have to go to old school where we sit at the tables at night and have dinner and break bread and understand what our children are going through, because you might be sending your child to one of these schools that they're going to send them and to one of these school psychiatrists and start flipping your child's mind to think that they're a goddamn chair or lamp pole or a boy or a girl to a boy or a boy to a girl. This is what they're doing. See, we don't want to have these conversations. This is what they're doing in these schools.
Well, in the doctor's office too, because I got kicked out. I think when my daughters were 12, right, and I have a set of twins, so we always go in there together. Her sister's in the room. We all in there.
Oh no, you're not going to kick me out.
That you cannot be in there when they asking certain questions. And my daughters told the doctor, like, I don't hide nothing from my mother. She could sit in here. They were like,
no, we're not going there.
I have to ask these questions separately. But this is everywhere. It's the law now.
The parent needs to take their child to a different doctor. The parent needs to take their child.
No. It's every doctor's office right now, currently.
Then people need to start asking these politicians, why are they allowing this? Right? Because they're taking the parental guidelines away from the parents to turn our children into freaks.
Well, we don't know nothing, because even this, my daughters came home. I was breastfeeding both of them. I didn't have enough milk. I started them on some other milk. I know their father's lactose intolerant. When I gave them the regular milk, it was Machine Gun Kelly. So I switched the milk, right? I switched the milk. I go back to their follow-up appointment and say to the doctor, hey, this is what's going on. They're on this milk. They said, well, who gave you permission to do that?
The fuck you mean? What?
I said, what do you mean who gave me permission? Yeah, you can't just do that without a script. Miss, I'm paying for milk. I don't need no script for you to give me no milk. Like, make it make sense.
Exactly.
And they were, obviously I changed the doctor, but how dare you say that? And now I imagine myself in a space with a person who don't know the words to say, who don't know that the doctor is not controlling everything when it has to do with their kid. Right. I'm just grateful that I had understanding, because if I didn't, I would have been like, okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. And my daughters were watching me. My older daughters were teenagers at that time. So if you don't equip yourself with policy, legislature, or even to know your rights in different spaces, you cannot kick me out this room. No, you cannot. You cannot do this. I don't accept this. But we're so scared of ACS. We're so scared of people just opening the door to the way we live, right? We don't want nobody in our business. I feel like a lot of us just go with the rigmaroles because we don't want to answer questions.
No, listen,
the only time I can actually see that, Larnez, is if
I can never
say your husband was an abusive parent and they wanted to address that situation, and your kid is not going to answer the questions with your husband in there. You understand what I'm saying? I might loosely understand that, but the rest of that, no.
At 12 years old, they start asking about drugs. They start asking about sex. They start asking about what the kids' behavior is, because I know y'all saw them commercials, them HPV commercials, right? They start about 12. right? You don't want your kid to get cancer, so they better get this HPV vaccine because you know they're gonna be kissing somebody outside because it's a sexually transmitted disease, and it's a lie. When you are being born, there is HPV on your skin. When you ingest it, you swallow it. And these are the things, the misinformation that is pushed to our community.
Well, look what they look when they literally, like, never mind. I don't even want to get into it right now because, see, I don't even want to get into it.
Do you have any more? Because we looking at
yeah. Let's look at the response. Let's look at now. This is what happens.
Wait, so Brenda said
16 plus
some of the laws now make
future
parenting more challenging. Okay, I'm sorry. You go to your video. Go ahead.
medical bills. A New York jury just handed a $2 million judgment to a detransitioner who says her doctors rushed her into gender surgery as a teen. Fox Varian, now 22, got $1.6 million for the pain from her breast removal at 16, plus $400,000 for future medical bills. She's part of a growing wave of detransitioners suing doctors for pushing transition procedures they later regretted. Dr. Kurt Michelli from Do No Harm calls it a breakthrough, saying it's the first time a jury's validated the real harm to minors from these surgeries. Clinicians failed terribly, he told the Washington Examiner. Another detransitioner, Chloe Cole, who's fighting her own lawsuit, says every doctor doing mastectomies on healthy teens should be scared. Varian testified she felt instant regret, nerve pain, and lifelong shame from being disfigured. Michelli urges the medical system to support detransitioners through the physical and emotional scars. This comes after the Supreme Court upheld bans on minor trans surgeries in Tennessee and over 20 states last June. But in places like New York and California, doctors face new liability risks for these safe haven procedures. Activists are pushing to extend statutes of limitations since regret can take years to hit, giving detransitioners a real shot at justice.
So what that says to me, so without getting past the political rhetoric and talking points from either side, you have kids saying, as I'm according to this news, you have kids saying that they were pressured to have these kind of surgeries and now they regret them. I think that speaks a lot louder than a lot of, and that is not every kid. That's these kids. That's first, because we can't say every in anything, but that there are kids who felt pressured to have these surgeries and were talked into it and sued and have won. I think that is a situation, regardless of what side it is and what who's the talking point come from. We have to look into these situations and see what's really going on. And we have to get more involved. I mean, that's
well. First of all, the letter that Tish James, and full disclosure, I don't like her. The letter from Tish James.
We would never have known that. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Came after the Fox Varian settlement. You would think that she would have looked into it more carefully than trying to force a hospital to do something after this case. And this case was right here in Westchester County. That Fox Varian case was in Westchester. So, and that's a landmark case now. So that's case law. And thank God young women and probably men will be able to follow through from that case, from these greedy doctors and psychiatrists and school psychiatrists and people with different agendas. I won't get into it on this show, but there's agenda. Why would you maintain to try to punish, to use a discrimination law to go after a hospital who's following federal law to stop? To minors. Something is very sick.
So wait. So
I don't think
it's a federal law. So she's saying they would be violating state law. Is that what she's saying?
Yeah, state
so
discrimination.
Wait, so bigger than her, we got to look at our state representatives. I mean, because again, her job is to enforce state law. So we got to look at our state representatives if they're passing laws that go against. You know what I'm saying? That if that's a law passed by the state, if it's a state law.
No. Wait, hold on. She's saying it's discrimination. That is, it's.
You said they're violating state law. That's what it said.
That's what it said. Violating state discrimination law, not state law that they could give those surgeries. She's using it. She's putting it under the state discrimination law. She's saying by following the federal government, not giving the surgeries, you're discriminating against them.
You're violating the rights of minors or something like that, or something she said.
You're discriminating.
That's what it said, violating the rights of the minors' rights or something.
But I mean, what rights do minors have outside of their parents? Right? And then full disclosure, I'm not sure. I know California can push all that stuff without the parents' consent. I'm not sure with New York. And if it is in New York, we need to have conversations with our elected officials on it.
And that's what I just said, yeah.
We definitely need to have some conversations because people is going to Rikers just to start getting on
and
medication to shift their gender.
We have elections coming up, and these people are going to come to us for our votes, and we need to be asking these questions where they stand on this.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel this is something that you're against and you don't believe it, before you vote for someone, just because the Democratic Party told you that that's the person that they're pushing, before you vote for a person, you need to ask these questions. You need to find these things out. You need to go to whatever forums they're having, and when you got and ask these questions, you need to call their campaign office and demand answers on these questions. Before I vote for you, how do you stand on this? How do you see this? What's your stance on that? And we need to be asking all elected officials on the issues that are concerning us before we vote for them. So that's why I said bigger than just her. If it's a state law, we need to be talking to our state elected officials. But yeah, so is that your last one? Because I'm about to be out. It's 8:34.
Yeah, I gotta go to work.
I got my alarm. Lonez having an alarm to tell us she's 30 minutes late. I have an alarm at 8:30 that just went off to tell me we 30 minutes late. So
everybody, have a black-tastic night and don't fall victim to Trump derangement syndrome.
To the people that accuse Democrats of having Trump derangement, no. I got it, and I got it bad, and I don't want to get better. I just want to get worse. Okay?
You want to get worse, James?
I don't think that I try to conjure up more distaste for him than I have when I wake up in the morning. It's really hard to do. But this is a condition that I'm not trying to get rid of.
Why not?
Make my disease worse.
Why not? Why, James? Why do you want to make the disease worse? Trump derangement syndrome. Why do you want to make that worse?
Because in my opinion, he doesn't like the United States. He doesn't like our laws. He doesn't like our allies. He doesn't like our treaties. He doesn't like the fact that we're an inclusive country that is built in a large part on immigration. I don't think I think he's politicized the Justice Department. I think they're making money hand over foot, like you couldn't believe. Mm-hmm. And I think the guy can't stand the country I love. And if you said, well, somebody's capital gains tax, or somebody doesn't think that we should have affirmative action, I disagree with you, but I'm not going to tell you that I think you hate America. I think you got some bad priorities. I don't think Trump likes the United States.
Okay.
That is what I think.
How do you feel about people who...
Are you ready to put your brand in front of the people who matter? Black Westchester Magazine is your platform. With over 90,000 monthly website readers and more than 250,000 YouTube viewers every month, We give your business unmatched exposure. From email blasts straight to our subscribers, to video commercials, website promotions, and targeted campaigns, we've got the tools to help you connect, engage, and grow. Whether you're a local business, a national brand, a rising entrepreneur, or just promoting an upcoming event, Black Westchester is where culture, community, and commerce meet. Contact us today or scan the QR code and start building with us. Don't just advertise, be part of the movement, be part of Black Westchester, be Blacktastic. Rep the movement. Get your official Black Westchester merch today. Hoodies, tees, and more at blackwestchestermerch.shop. Wear your voice, make a statement. Damon K. Jones exposes the lies and challenges the gatekeepers in Black politics in his powerful book, Emotional Politics and Logical Failure. Black America needs fewer emotions and more outcomes. Our communities deserve better. On sale now, get the book or audiobook on Amazon, From the Streets of Westchester to the Heart of Hip Hop. Discover A. J. Woodson's powerful collection. Black Westchester, the origin story. We got our own thing. Hip hop from the 9, 1, 4, and Black Westchester celebrate Black women of Westchester. Available now at blackwestchester.com and on Amazon. Gangbangers breaks down how the two-party system operates like a legalized street war for power. Emotional Politics, Logical Failure exposes how emotion has replaced strategy in Black political engagement. Tolerance is for Cowards lays out a blueprint for extended policing and community-led public safety rooted in outcomes rather than slogans. 3 signed books. One bundle $60. That's a $75 value. And you're getting signed copies included. This isn't left versus right. It's results versus rhetoric. Go to twosteppublishing.com and secure your signed political thought bundle today. It's going to be Blacktastic. Its own economy under segregation, under discrimination, and under conditions most people today cannot imagine. We built businesses. We built banks. We bought land and property. In the Forgotten Blueprint, Damon K. Jones reveals how Black communities created thriving economic systems from 1800 to 1965 and why that blueprint still matters today. This book challenges the idea that our future depends on politics alone and shows how ownership, family, and enterprise once powered Black prosperity. The blueprint is not lost. We just stopped using it. The Forgotten Blueprint, how Black America built its own economy from 1800 to 1965. On sale now at Two-Step Publishing and Amazon. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and share it with others who need to hear the truth. And for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes access, join the Black Westchester Magazine YouTube membership club today. Your support helps us keep independent Black media strong. Support independent Black media with style. Rock Black Westchester merch and represent the news with the Black point of view. Never dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. See, that's when temptation come dressed in diamonds. But I'd rather invest in royalty. Black queens, my preference, my presence, my protection. Let's talk about it. Never dance with the devil in the pale moonlight, because the price of admission is your soul on ice. They lure you with the glitter, champagne on the rocks, but the bill come due with them eternal locks. I've seen brothers gamble hearts just to chase that thrill, only to wake up empty with the void to fill. Me? I'd rather walk steady with the queen by my side. Her love ain't counterfeit, it's the truth amplified. Black woman, you, the roads and the cracks of the street, turn concrete jungles into soil so sweet. When the world play games, you remind me of the cost. You the compass, the wisdom, the bridge never lost. I ain't blinded by illusions now. I study the art of a woman who been molding kingdoms right from the start. You the cradle of creation, you the rhythm, the song. While the devil plays short, you've been built for the long. Moonlight shadows trying to pull me off track, but I don't fall for the tricks. I ain't dancing with that. Every bar that I spit, yeah, I'm speaking it right. I prefer Black women. They my love, they my light. Black woman, you the jewel that the world try to hide. Every system built against you, but you still multiply. You the sun in the morning, you the moon in the night. You the fire in the struggle, you the truth in the fight. When they call you too strong, I just call you divine. Every scar that you carry, tell a story in time. You the rhythm of the Nile, you the roots of the tree. You the mother, the daughter, every prayer set free. Devil whisper in the dark, come and chase my glow. But your melanin royalty outshine that show. You the poetry in motion, you the song in my chest. You the reason I resist every counterfeit test. No diamond, no pearl could replace what you bring. You the crown on the king, you the strength in the ring. And I ain't dancing with shadows when the stakes that high. I'll be holding to your hand till the day I die. Moonlight shadows trying to pull me off track. But I don't fall for the tricks, I ain't dancing with that. I ain't here for illusions, I ain't here for the hype. I'm here for the queens that be changing my life. Never dance with the devil when the pale moon shines. Stay true to the roots, keep the legacy mine. Yeah, you the heartbeat of the culture, you the pulse of the land, you the blueprint, the architect, the touch of the hand, you the vision that Marcus Garvey dreamed in the night, you the echo of the struggle when we stand and fight. They've been trying to write you out, they've been trying to erase, but the truth still remains, can't replace your face. Thank you for watching another Blacktastic episode of the People Before Politics show. Sunday Rundown, powered by Black Westchester Magazine. We appreciate every single one of you who tuned in, commented, shared the stream, and joined the conversation. Your support is the reason independent Black media continues to thrive and speak truth without fear. Every week, we show up to bring clarity, accountability, and real community insight to the stories that matter. And you show up with us. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or X, we want you to know that your voice, your engagement, and your presence make this platform stronger. Thank you for rocking with Damon K. Jones, AJ Woodson, and Larnez Kinsey as we break down the issues that many outlets ignore. And thank you for supporting a space where Black thought, Black leadership, and Black truth-telling still matter.